So yeah, that definitely can be a little bit more difficult. It is typically more word of mouth, you being connected to other industry resources, peers in the marketplace, perhaps friends that have sat in roles of, within human resources where they have an understanding of the banding of different roles and different levels within. There are certainly compensation studies that exist out there. It can be much harder to get as an individual than as a corporation. So it can be a little bit more challenging, but I would say making sure that you've harnessed and developed a peer network usually is probably going to be your best solution there. And then utilizing, if you develop friends like Allison and I.
Yeah, I was just going to say, having a network of recruiters, even if you're not engaging them on your job search, you call them, and if you've built that rapport, they're happy to give you a ballpark estimate or react to a number and say, no, that's baloney, or you're being undervalued, or wow, take it and run, whatever it may be. Recruiters, I think, are really invaluable, and keeping that connectivity to good ones over the years will serve you well.
I've found that to be true. Typically, especially if you have a number in mind, I'm interviewing for this role. Do you think that this makes sense? I was going to ask for this. I can speak from personal experience because I was I was self-employed for 5 years, and then I recently joined another firm. So, I had an idea of what I thought I should be making, but I wanted to validate it with some other people that were in similar roles to the one I was interviewing for, not for the one that I left 5 years ago. And it was actually a great opportunity for me, speaking of pay equity, to kind of right size my number. There's also a lot of sources out there. Of course, TriNet has some data. There's a lot of other companies that do track industry data, some like Greenwich Associates. If you participate in their surveys, you can typically get that as a thank you, if depending on what your function is within the industry. Glassdoor is a pretty good sort of crowdsourced model. So there is data out there. I think the most important thing is to understand what you're looking for. So be very specific. Are you a hedge fund? Are you an equity manager? Are you a fixed income manager? Like there's differences between sectors and between companies. Are you going to be working for a big company or a small company? But it's pretty easy to get, I think, data points and to sort of validate what your thoughts are as long as you ask the right questions.
I just add one point of caution to that. Sort of just an example. There's, word of mouth. A portfolio manager gets 50% of the incentive, of the P&L. That's what you hear. So somebody offers you 25%, you just say no. The answer is no. I mean, because people slice and dice this stuff up a million ways. 50% of the incentive minus, a charge for every single thing that you use with, is not the same as if the firm is taking on all the overhead. So you do have to take some things with a grain of salt, and rest assured, most people do not tell the truth when they tell you what they're making.